Beep boop beep boop. Oh,
Luna, I knew you'd be here.
you knew?
All right. We haven't talked here in this one, huh?
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in this whole facility with anything green. I kind of feel silly for saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's a perfect place for a serious conversation. Technically, she's never been to the great outdoors. She's a robot.
How do you know that she has never been there?
She was designed and implemented in the desert. I don't think they would have taken her to the great outdoors just for the sake of it.
Luna?
Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. I'm not sure what you meant just now, but
You're gonna ruin a great scene.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure we meant that, but are you talking about something that happened in another history?
What?
I know what you can do. Someone told me about it once.
Why are you laughing?
I resisted. I resisted. It's as told by Ginger reference. Someone once told me. They said you have the ability to transport your consciousness through time.
Who told you that?
A little birdie. I get it.
Luna looked down at the music box around her neck. Carefully and delicately, she twisted the dial on the bottom.
Sigma. Aren't you here to ask me something? Why I killed them, perhaps?
Well, actually, I already know you didn't do it.
Oh? Why do you think I didn't do it? I'd like to know your reasoning.
Alright. I nodded and took a moment to compose my thoughts. What?
It'd be so funny if she did kill them, because that would flip her from being like my ideal type of significant other to your ideal type of significant other.
No, I don't want somebody that kills other people.
You just want somebody that kills you?
Might as well start with the old woman.
You're into a very particular type of yandere.
I just want somebody unpredictable.
You hear that, ladies?
There's no point beating around the bush, I suppose. Dio killed her.
Why do you think so?
Her left arm had blood splatter all the way up to the elbow, except for a stripe on the wrist that was perfectly clean. What could have caused that? My guess is the bracelet. It got covered with blood and kept her wrist clean. Obviously, none of our bracelets had blood splatter on them, but Dio's bracelet reacted to the luminol. That meant Dio's bracelet had to have come from the old woman.
Is that your proof? That's why you think Dio killed her?
No, that's only enough to suspect him. After all, he could have just taken the bracelet after someone else killed her.
Then why are you so sure?
Because he confessed.
What?
After his bracelet reacted to the luminol, I confronted him. Alright, fine. You caught me. I did it. I killed the old bitch and took her bracelet.
Wait. When did that happen?
In a different timeline.
Isn't that against the rules?
What rules? Hope you're not going to try and bring up Nox's 10 Commandments. Does it really matter if it's against the rules or fair? The truth is the truth. Let's say that Incident P happens, and after that, the timeline splits in Timeline A and Timeline B. I don't think it's unfair to base a theory in Timeline A on information I found in Timeline B. After all, A and B both came from the same place, P. If you trace the history of both timelines, you'd end up back at Incident P. Now, if I could change what happened with Incident P by visiting Timeline A or B, then yes, it'd be a different story. I don't know that it'd be unfair per se, but I'd certainly be breaking some pretty big rules. Like, the principle of causality. I'm sure that Dio killed the old woman. By extension, that means you couldn't have killed her. I'm assuming Dio wasn't originally intended to be part of the Nonary game. Somehow he got in and he took the old woman's place. That's how he ended up as Quark's partner. This is just an educated guess, but I have a feeling his plan was to replace one of us. I doubt it mattered which one. I have no idea why he would want to do something like that, and I don't know how he did it either. But the fact remains that he did. He hid in the warehouse on floor A and waited for someone to come out of one of the AB rooms. That someone turned out to be the old woman. She left Quark asleep in the AB room and came out on her own. Somehow he managed to get close enough to stab her. He did it near the wall with the graffiti on it. I'm guessing he stabbed her from behind so that he wouldn't get any blood on himself. As soon as she was dead, he wrapped the knife up in the handkerchief. No, wait, actually... He probably took the bracelet first. Then he would have needed to wipe the blood off, so he used the handkerchief for that too. Anyway, the point is, he got the bracelet and put it on. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the rightmost AB room and his neighbor. He probably didn't expect that they'd move, or he would have to put it somewhere else. After that, he headed back into the AB room that the woman had left. Quark would have still been fast asleep, so as far as he knew, Dio was there with him the whole time. This does raise a few other questions, but I'll save those for later. For now, let's move on to the other murders. Well, actually, one of them probably isn't a murder.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about Alice. I'm pretty sure she... committed suicide.
All of humanity is going to die.
Oh, hi there, cool name. I'm glad you're enjoying the Bluebird Lament. I didn't realize you were there. Sorry.
I'm a bird and I am sad.
Bluebird's Lament was the song that was playing from her necklace before this music.
Those were the words to that song.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Adults, children, everyone. There won't be anyone left. I'd rather die here.
She'd been infected with Radical 6. I think that infection caused her to take her own life. She used Dio's knife, which she'd found in the warehouse after the AB room moved and exposed it. She took it with her and then used it to stab herself in the crew quarters. Next are Clover and Tenmyoji. The first question is who put the handcuffs on them. The clue is the message Clover left, 016. If you think about it though, it doesn't make much sense. Clover's left hand was in the handcuffs. That means she would have had to write with her right hand on her right thigh. I feel like it would have been really hard to do that, you know? Why not just use her left thigh? The thing is, I think she did. When she died, her legs slumped together and the message got transferred to the right thigh. We just never saw the original because we didn't bother to check the other leg. In other words, she wasn't trying to write 016. She was trying to write Dio, or D-I-O. With the dying breath, she was trying to tell us the name of her killer.
Why didn't she do a capital D? It would have solved all the problems.
She's not very good at her capitals.
She has. Ugh. I don't want to think about that.
Now about Kay and Dio. I think there's a pretty good chance Dio killed Kay. Here's how I imagine it happened. Kay probably sprayed Dio's bracelet with luminol. We found the bottle in Kay's robe. He wouldn't have seen the reaction immediately, but Dio would have known what was coming. As soon as Kay turned the lights off, it would be clear that Dio had taken the old woman's bracelet. My guess is he decided to take preemptive action. When he found their bodies, the lights in the rec room were on. Maybe Kay turned to switch the light off and Dio took the opportunity to attack him. Kay was hurt pretty badly, but he didn't die right away. He probably managed to grab the spear and stab Dio. Then he died. So that counts for all 6 bodies. None of them your fault.
Sigma. I'm glad you don't think I did it, but all your theories are just, well, theories. Like Alice committing suicide? How can you be so sure? Say she was infected with Radical 6. She could have been murdered before her symptoms even began to present themselves.
Would they steal from Dang It Grandpa? Cool name.
I told you. There's a similar, spoilers, but there is a similar reveal in the Danganronpas. As for Clover and Temyoji, I could have easily killed them. Me, I'm a cold-blooded murderer. Just look at me.
Oh, the numbers
Look
things,
at-
yeah. Fair.
Look at my death glare. I sent shivers down the spine of all of my enemies. You don't have any proof that Clover's message was mirrored, like you said, or even that it was supposed to refer to Dio. Even if it did, it's not conclusive evidence of his guilt. Same goes for Kay and Dio. I could have killed them both. Why do you trust me so much? I'm a machine. I'm part of this place. How can you trust the machine?
That's why I trust you.
What?
I trust you because you're a robot. Your robotness is just one more reason you can't be the killer. Well, 3 more reasons.
I know I just asked you this like 3 minutes ago, but have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
Yeah, this is a flashback though.
This is a flashback to we already had this flashback.
Yeah, but it's we only had it with one of the rules.
Rule 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm.
Okay, it's still just doing the one rule.
A robot without the 3 laws of robotics is just a bunch of metal and plastic. Sigma.
Luna, I have to ask you. Can you tell me, well, everything you know? Your mind is in the central server. You should know everything that's happened here. There was a long pause. Luna stood up and walked deeper into the garden. I followed her in silence. Eventually we reached the bench. Luna quietly sat down and, just like last time, I lowered myself down beside her.
You're right. I didn't kill them. How should I explain? Well, actually, you got most of it right.
That doesn't matter. Tell me everything.
Well, first, yes, Dio did sneak into the facility. He used a large cargo elevator and came into the warehouse on floor A through the number 9 door. Since the game hadn't started yet, anyone could go through it.
That doesn't really sound like sneaking. It sounds more like he just walked in.
Yes, I guess you could say that. He did get in pretty easily. That's because Zero Jr. lured him here.
What do you mean?
Dio wasn't a surprise. Both Zeros knew that he was going to come.
So they brought him here?
In a way,
But why?
because his presence was an important part of Zero's project.
What project?
I can't go into that right now. We'd be here forever. I mean, they're gonna be there forever.
Yeah. We have nowhere to go, Luna.
Yeah, Luna.
You might as well.
We have a year's worth of food and you don't have to eat. So if it's a year's worth of food for 9 people, I got plenty of food, my girl. We have time. Right now, let's just focus on the murders, okay? Oh, wait. We have a year's worth of food minus 1.5 months because Phi did eat a month and a half's worth of food.
A month and a half now?
Oh, was it a week?
You keep bumping it up. I mean, they never said how much. She just listed a bunch of food that she tried.
Okay. Well, Phi...
Including paella and twice fried rice.
P did eat 3 years worth of food, so... Anyway, Dio found his way in.
A cool name said Phi ate a year's worth of food.
No, Phi... somebody quick, make that meme of Patrick saying, "Now I'm gonna starve," but superimpose Phi's face on it.
I mean, it's all freeze dried. What happens if you just eat the powder that's like meant to be like
an entire
is the
3-course meal?
Yeah, but that has no like water added, so it's just like powder. It's not much.
Real dusty.
That's gonna be so calorie dense, isn't it? Is it gonna like kill you?
Yeah. Oh, you probably will die of like calorie overdose. Absolutely. Or you're gonna take the roughest poops. It's an M-rated stream. I can say the word poop.
I feel like that poop should only be allowed to be said in a lower rated stream. That's like child humor. That's not appropriate for this.
She's gonna take a mondo shit. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Cool name put a crying face that he said a bad word.
They've made sure. Don't tell my mom, guys. Don't tell my mom I said a bad word. They made sure he didn't know that he was actually being let in.
So why did he come here?
To make sure Zero's project failed. His first step was to pretend to be one of the players. As for how he did that, you had it pretty much right. The old woman was the first one out, and he killed her under the graffiti. He put her bracelet on after he wiped the blood off of it with the handkerchief. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid between the 5th and 6th AB rooms.
5th and 6th?
Counting from the left in their original placement. Also, question.
Yeah?
How does the system know that the bracelet is no longer on Akane and on Dio? Because all of the technical content displays Dio's name. So
because the AI has intelligence?
the AI just like felt the bracelet on Dio and be like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely a Dio."
They have cameras.
Hmm.
Zero Junior or Senior Zero the Third, the robot Zero, not robot, but the bunny could have just been like, yeah, that's Dio. I mean, they intentionally lured Dio in, so
Whatever.
David Coulter said they planned it. In other words, the rightmost room would be the 6th room, and the one next to it would be the 5th.
Right. After that, he went back into the 5th AB room where Quark was sleeping. Then he just waited for Quark to wake up.
What were you doing while that was happening?
Nothing. I couldn't do anything. My body had been turned off. Zero Jr. powered me down. My body wasn't activated until after Dio went into the 5th room. I couldn't help her. All I could do was watch while she was murdered. Everything in this place is controlled by Zero Jr. I couldn't try and prevent Dio from getting in either.
Wait, if Zero Jr. controls everything, then he was the one who moved the 6th room with the crane.
Yes. That's right. Zero Jr. moved the room, not me.
Then who moved the old woman?
Me. It took me 10 minutes to get out of my AB room once I was turned back on. I ran over to check on her as soon as I did. Then I carried her back to the room I'd been in.
Why did you do that?
Because I was ordered to.
What? You get to do her, Royce. Sure.
Luna, listen to me very carefully. As you already know, the final stage of the project begins in 2 hours.
This will be the culmination of many years of hard work. Shot a frog in her throat.
Oh, fair.
Cannot afford failure.
Cool said if she sounds like an 80s anime villain.
That was my goal. I understand.
That was Luna, but
I understand.
Oh no, I'm mixing them all up. Oh no.
I understand.
Then let's make sure. What is your mission?
Enter the nonary game as one of the participants and observe the actions of the other players. Ensure that they do what they are supposed to and guide them down the correct paths.
How many players will there be?
Myself and 7 others, ma'am. Will you be participating as well?
Yes, our plan dictates that I must. An individual by the name of Dio will be entering this facility presently. He has been led to believe he's doing so undetected. You've been briefed on him already, correct?
Yes.
He will murder the first person
Luna.
to leave.
He will murder the first person to leave one of the AB rooms and take their place. If a pair is the first out, he'll probably kill both of them. That's all the information I've been given on him, ma'am. Is there a problem?
If there's two out to kill both of them, how would that even work then? Because now there's only one.
Yeah, there would always be one person that would be. It would throw all the pairings off. Yeah. Maybe that. Oh. Maybe that's what the other golem was there, just in case.
The one that was on the
Old
table?
cocky boy. Yeah.
He said that he'd been broken for a long time and hadn't been, like, repaired, which is why he was attached to that.
Listen, there's always a plan. There's always a plan.
With all due respect, ma'am, I would like to state that I don't feel right about this. We know someone's going to be killed, and we're just gonna let it happen? I also have doubts about the use of Radical 6. Are you sure? Infecting all these people with such a horrible disease.
That is none of your concern. Your only concern is to follow your orders.
But
Luna, I am giving you an order. I am in command, and you do as I say. You are programmed to do as I say. You know this. Making this a lot more ominous than I think it's supposed to be, but you know.
yes.
You also do sound a bit younger than she sounds usually, but but that's up to you. That's your choice. So
I
I'm
can
not saying
only
that.
do like a crone, you know. I don't know if I could do like an old. I keep thinking that I could do an old woman, but I really can't. Also, I don't know. I feel like I've listened to old people, and a lot of them sound normal.
Yeah, I'm just saying she definitely sounds a little older, usually. Also, the one your voice you're doing does kind of sound like Alice's, but
Yeah, soft British. I'm assuming because she's Japanese, so she had to learn English somewhere, and she learned it while in England. I don't know. That's my headcanon. Good. Let me try a little older, even though this is probably the last thing she's gonna say. Now, I have one final order.
oh, perfect.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are you messing?
No, I'm genuine.
I'm gonna look like a big silly gumbus. A gumbus.
Another order, ma'am?
Yes.
When you leave the AB room, the person Dio has killed would still be there. I would like you to move them.
Where?
To the room you are about to enter, the 6th AB room. But why? Not your concern. As a participant in the game, you must have as little knowledge of it as possible. That is why I have made sure you are unable to access any classified data. There are things you must not know. In order for this project to succeed, we need you to be as close to a clean slate as possible. There are some things you already know, which, ideally, you would not. Unfortunately, this is unavoidable, so you must refrain from divulging anything you know about the project to the other participants. You must never tell anyone what you know about Dio, or the body, or that you carried it out to the 6AB room. You will have to pretend you know nothing more than the rest of the participants.
Is that an order?
Yes. Do I make myself clear? Yes.
Ugh. That was like activating part of my vocal cords that never get any kind of workout. So like that felt bizarre.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not. Like I don't think it like made it hard. Like I don't think I'm gonna Either way, it was a different experience. I don't think I've ever felt wind come through my throat in that way before. Also, don't say anything about me saying wind come.
After I went to the AB room, after that, I went into the AB room as I'd been told to. As soon as I stepped inside, my body deactivated.
They did it on purpose because she would been the first one out.
But since my brain is in the main computer, I was still awake. So I still saw everything. While I waited, I used the security cameras to see what was going on in the rest of the facility.
And you saw the old woman being murdered.
Yes.
Oh.
What?
My internet hesitated for a second.
Ah.
It was hard. What I was seeing made no sense. Several of my higher level processes nearly failed. To think that she would be the first person to come out. I think she knew that Dio was going to kill her. When she said she had one final order for me, I didn't understand what she meant.
Yeah, cool name. I agree.
What's cool name saying?
Just poor Luna.
Yeah.
Like a fool, I told her I didn't approve when I had no idea what she was prepared to do. When she died, whatever I have that passed for her heart felt like it snapped in two.
Yeah, you never really think about how you feel after you get some sort of like serious information. A lot of the time, there's just like a vacuum of noise where you're just like hearing just like casually what's going on around you, and a lot of the time you just don't think about that, right? You're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. You would just kind of hear the water running after somebody told you something more really tragic.
Yeah. I think I understand. Everything you did because you'd been ordered to.
Yes,
And it was the old woman who gave you those orders. Then is she Zero Senior?
no,
What? But if she gave you the orders...
she did. But she wasn't the only person I took orders from.
There was someone else?
Yes,
And that person is Zero Senior.
yes. They worked together to develop the project she mentioned. So I suppose technically my orders came from both of them. And they were both controlling Zero Jr. too. I told you before that Zero Jr. moved the 6th AB room. Although that's strictly true, he didn't do it on his own free will. They ordered him to do it. He was following orders just like me.
But why?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe they did it so that people wouldn't suspect me.
If they didn't want people to suspect you, then why have you moved the body in the first place? Eventually we'd figured out the rooms had been moved and that she was in your room.
Then maybe they wanted the opposite.
You mean,
Maybe they wanted you to suspect me.
that doesn't make sense either. If they wanted people to suspect you, why move the room?
You're right. Then maybe they only wanted certain people to be suspicious of me.
You mean like Alice?
Yes. Perhaps they wanted Alice to find the handkerchief and the knife. That would explain why they moved the room.
They somehow knew Dio would hide the knife there?
Yes. I think so.
But how could they know that?
Oh, I feel a sneeze. Let me see if I can mute. Don't. Whew.
Well, whatever the reasons were, Alice did notice that the room was moved. Which meant that Clover also figured it out. And just like that,
That's complete improv.
and just like you said, Alice used the knife to take her own life. Clover didn't realize that, though. Perhaps she didn't want to. In any event, she decided that I must have killed Alice to keep her quiet. So she confronted me. It was right after the second round of the AB game. Using Thai's timetable, that would be 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0
Wait.
doors.
You were listening to us in the security office?
Yes. That wasn't all I was listening to, though. I know everything that happened in the facility after my body collapsed.
You were watching through the security cameras.
Yes, I was. I could see and hear everything. Anyway, we were at 0 hours, 0 minutes. I was in the hallway on floor A when Clover found me and took me to room 2 in the crew quarters. We entered at about 0 hours, 1 minute. She was very forceful. I know you killed Alice. Tell me the truth, and I'll let you live. Now fess up! I'm only gonna give you one chance. If you lie, or try to play dumb or something, I'll kill you right in front of her. I told her the truth, of course. I explained that I hadn't killed Alice. That she'd been infected with Radical 6, and it caused her to kill herself. Clover was never going to believe that, though. We argued about it for nearly 9 minutes. It wasn't just Alice she asked me about. She asked me about the murder of the old woman, and about the AB room being moved. She wasn't very nice about it, but I couldn't answer any of her questions.
Because of your orders.
Yes. Then at about 7 hours, 10 minutes,
7
she must
hours.
have run out of patience. Oh.
It's a jump.
Then
She's using British time, so she just +7 in the GMT or whatever.
Then, about 0 hours, 10 minutes, she must have run out of patience.
Also, this water tastes like somebody had a creamsicle, like an orange creamsicle in it, in the cup, ate the creamsicle, and then filled this up with a glass of water.
Is that good?
If you're into that sort of thing, yes. You're into a cup that tastes like there was a creamsicle in it before somebody served you a glass of water in it, then yeah.
Are you into that?
The world may never know.
She stuck her hand in her pocket and started moving towards me. She backed me up against the wall and pulled her hand out of her pocket. She was holding the injection gun. I tried to take it away from her. I even screamed for help. She refused to let go, of course. While we were fighting over it,
Oh, hold on a minute. The trigger got pulled in the fight, I get that part. What I don't understand is why it did anything to you.
You mean because I'm a golem?
Yeah.
One of my orders was always to act like I was one of the players, a human. Any human injected with that amount of tubercularine would die.
That's why you died? To keep up the facade that you were human?
No. I collapsed because Zero Jr. turned off the power to my body again. He probably felt he had to. Maintaining the illusion that I was human was probably his orders too. So to make it look like I had died, he turned the power off. Whatever the case, it was an accident. I don't think Clover ever intended to actually kill me. She only took the injection gun to try and threaten me.
How can you be sure?
When I collapsed, she looked terrified. She checked for my pulse and listened to see if I was breathing. She also shook my body and called out to me several times. If she had meant to kill me, why do all of that? After a few moments, she ran off to the infirmary to get the AED.
You mean the defibrillator?
Yes,
That uses an electric shock to restart the heart, right?
correct.
So that was why she left.
Yes.
This is still you.
At 0 hours, 11 minutes, 40 seconds, Clover left the cabin of the crew quarters. Oh no, she ran off towards the infirmary. On the way, she bumped into Dio.
Dio?
Yes.
He's just kind of like taunting you. Am I gonna?
No,
I'm gonna do it?
like literally, the amount of rage that is like swelling within me.
The second you see the map.
Palpable. Palpable.
For the rest of your life, if anybody shows you this image of this map,
This image, it's just like 10 images that immediately filled me with rage. Is this one? It's the here are another set of rules for you. Those two live rent free in my brain, and they need to pay. They're bad roommates.
what about I trust him?
Oh no, that's fine. I trust them. It's fine. And why do people is actually funny. So like that one can live rent free.
Ironically, that's like the
But-
only one we could skip.
I don't want to talk about it. This is so frustrating. I love this game, but all this travel time could have been avoided.
Could have taken up an
guess we-
entire stream.
I know. I really do. Like, if when I have the free time, I really do want to just make a compilation of just the travel time. Like, oh, please, please, if we ever make it, this is my one request for this series. Somebody, please, just make a compilation of all this travel time, because it'll be hilarious to me and to me alone.
I guess we saw him. I guess we just saw him, really. They didn't talk, so she just ran past.
And he just watched her go by.
Yes. I imagine he was curious, of course. He probably wondered what she was doing. But he chose not to go after her. He had something else to do.